Today, I'm taking you deep into a case that is absolutely insane. A case that actually happened in Riau, Indonesia. This is arguably the wildest about a would-be shaman, or dukun, trying to gain supernatural power through a ritual so grotesque it ended up being a massive court case. The horror was so extreme that even the judge cried while reading the case chronology. You can only imagine the terror, especially what happened on one of the victims, that ended up as rendang, a famous Indonesian beef stew. So grab your snack and drink, as we're about to dive deep into this case. Our story begins with Muhammad Delfi. He was the son of a shaman named Bahas Cerita Tanjung, a man who was highly respected in his village back in the 2000s. His father was believed to have the power of invulnerability and could see the future. He was constantly treating villagers for various ailments, and this was the family's lucrative source of income. Delfi, who had dropped out of school after junior high, was completely enthralled by his father's supposed power. His mother sold satay, and his two older siblings had left town to pursue independent lives, leaving Delfi behind. Delfi was a very different boy, morose, quiet, often spacing out, and deeply introverted. His father, however, saw something in him and began involving Delfi in various shamanistic rituals. He had Delfi bathed in water, mixed with 7 types of flowers from 7 different springs, believing Delfi could inherit his powers, because the father was growing old and sickly. But the condition for inheriting the power was truly monstrous. Delfi had to collect 7 reproductive organs from healthy, non-impotent young boys. Initially, Delfi thought the requirement was too heavy, too much. But his admiration for his powerful father, the promise of respect and profit, and his own bleak prospects as a high school dropout made him slowly, but surely embrace the idea. It became the only path he saw for himself. In 2010, Delfi's mother passed away, and since no one is going to take care of him, Delfi's sickly father returned to his hometown. Delfi went to live in the city with his sister, helping her sell satay from a small pushcart. But 3 years of selling satay didn't extinguish his ambition, it fueled it. By January 2013, his dark journey began. An opportunity presented itself. Delfi usually sells his satay in the housing area, where the neighborhood always go out to socialize and sometimes buy his satay, including children. There, Delfi locked his eye to a 5-year-old boy named Fabrian Della, whose house was nearby. That time, Fabrian was playing with his friends near Delfi's cart. Delfi saw an opportunity and began calling him. He lured Fabrian away by offering to buy him a toy. Hearing that, Fabrian instantly agreed, and they go with a motorcycle. He then took Fabrian into an oil palm plantation area, which is notoriously quiet and secluded. There, he took the child's life and severed his pee with a cutter and put it in a black plastic bag. He then buried Fabrian's body and returned to his satay cart like nothing had happened. 1 pea secured and 6 more to go. Before nightfall, Fabrian's family panicked, knowing that their kid doesn't come home like he usually do. They begin searching, but months go by, and they do not find any clue about their kid or found the body. And no one suspected Delfi, the satay seller. Not long after, selling satay doesn't generate enough money for him, and Delfi simply moved on, joining his other sibling, where he got a job delivering refillable water gallons. But just after 2 months of working there, Delfi told his boss he needed to visit his critically ill father. He even borrowed money for his father's medical expenses. However, instead of going to his father's hometown, Delfi decided to meet his long-distance girlfriend, named Dita Desmalasari, who lived in the other city. There, Delfi even asked Dita to marry him, but since they were both 19, Dita's parents strongly disapproved, as she was the eldest and working as a laundry employee, a crucial source of hope for her family. But Delfi was persistent. He persuaded Dita to running away with him and promise her a good life. Eventually, Dita complied. They go to Bengkali City, 60 miles from Dita's hometown. Once married, Dita became Delfi's accomplice. Knowing his sick father doesn't have much time left, Delfi was desperate to complete the ritual before his father died and begin searching his next victim. While in Bengkalis, a 40-year-old man named Ashi, who had a mental disability. The couple saw him as an easy target, and in July 2013, they lured Ashi to a deserted place, executed him, and used a cutter to sever his pee before burying his body. Weeks later, on August 2013, still in Bengkalis, they found their third victim, Aliksan, a 9-year-old boy who often fished near the river. Their plan was simple: lure him to a quiet fishing spot with the promise of more fish. In a secluded riverbank, Iksan was executed, dismembered, and hastily buried. Up to this point, Delfi had collected 3 victims' genitals. He was still ambitious to collect 4 more to complete the 7 before his father died. On the other hand, Ihsan's family was frantic because their son had not returned home. The family, assisted by the villagers, searched for Ihsan but did not find him. Delfi easily escaped again after this incident. Delfi and Dita then returned to Siak Regency, where Delfi had previously worked as a gallon delivery man, to continue searching for the next prey. On March 14, 2013, they found a new prey named Rendi Hidayat, who was 10 years old at the time. Delfi had previously known Rendi because Rendi was his loyal satay customer. The two of them carried out their action by promising to buy him a toy. Rendi gladly agreed, and the 3 of them got on a motorcycle. They stopped at a small shop and buy him a toy like his promise. There, Delfi also buy a cutter and a black plastic bag as preparation for executing Rendi. After that, Rendi though they were going to drive him home, but while they were passing a secluded village cemetery, Delfi suddenly invited Rendi to stop with the excuse of wanting to see his mother's grave. Upon arriving at the cemetery, they immediately executed Rendi and cut off his genitals using the cutter. Rendi's genitals were placed into the prepared black plastic bag. Just like the previous victims, Rendi's body was only buried haphazardly, and the excavation marks were covered with dry leaves and tree branches. After the incident, because Rendi did not return home, his parents, assisted by the villagers, searched for Rendi. After 2 days, Rendi was not found, and the case was reported to the police, yet Rendi was still not found. Delfi easily escaped again and intended to continue targeting subsequent victims. After collecting 4 victims' genitals, in August 2013, Delfi received news that his father in Bengalis was in critical condition. Delfi invited Dita to return to Bengalis. Upon arriving there, it turned out his father had already passed away. However, his father's passing did not dampen Delfi's spirit to continue his mission. Delfi was still convinced that his father's power could still be passed down if he succeeded in collecting 7 victims' genitals, with 3 remaining at that time. On August 16, 2013, they again found their 5th victim. The 5th victim was a boy named Muhammad Akbar from Bengalis, 9 years old. The modus was the same as before, being invited for a ride, 3 up on a motorcycle. They carried out their action in a secluded, rarely traveled forest area in Bengalis. Muhammad Akbar met the same fate as the previous victims. His family searched for Akbar, but never found him. Again, Delfi and Dita easily escaped. However, after all that, Delfi and Dita finally divorced. Dita admitted she was forced to do what Delfi told her because she was threatened. Dita also couldn't bear it anymore because she had been experiencing domestic violence, as Delfi often beat her. After his divorce, Delfi returned to Parawang village. He wanted to find a friend who could help with his mission. After a few months of searching, in June 2014, he found a friend named Sufyan, a resident of that village, who was willing to join because Delfi promised in wage of $45 for 1 victim's genitals. Sufyan was indeed in need of money at that time, so he agreed to Delfi's offer. They immediately searched for the next victim in the river area, often used by children for swimming. It was there that they found the next victim, Marjavan Gaya, an 8-year-old boy. The modus was to invite Marjavan to go out on a motorcycle to buy snacks at a stall. Because Marjavan was a young child being invited for a ride and snacks, he readily agreed to go with Delfi. They took Marjavan for a ride. They briefly stopped at a stall and bought Marjavan crackers, which became his last snack. It was also there that Delfi bought a cutter and a black plastic bag for executing Marjavan. After that, they took Marjavan to a secluded forest, and it was there that Marjavan was executed. Marjavan was eventually reported missing and never found, and they escaped easily again. However, Delfi could not pay the $45 wage he had promised Sufyan because Delfi did not have that much money. Because of this problem, they had an even crazier plan. They planned to skin and sell the flesh of the next victim to pay Sufyan's wage. Sufyan, whose hands were already dirty and who was in need of money, agreed to Delfi's proposition. On July 18, 2014, they returned to search for the next victim in the river area, often visited by children. There, they found Fema Silideva, a 10-year-old boy who was playing with his friends in a secluded location at the time. Here, the two of them began to become careless because they felt they had been continuously successful. They fearlessly took Fema, riding 3 up on a motorcycle and passing through a village. The modus was to invite Fema Sealy fishing to a place that supposedly had many fish, which was actually almost the same modus as with the previous victims. It was there that Fema Sealy was executed, and his genitals were cut off using a cutter. And for the first time, they mutilated Fema and took parts of his flesh and organs. They put the organs and flesh into 7 full black plastic bags, which they were ready to sell. On their way home, they sold 6 plastic bags containing flesh and organs to an old shop and a small restaurant on the roadside of the village. They claimed that it was a cow meat, and fortunately, they believe him. All the meat was sold, 6 bags in total, for a price of less than $20. Meanwhile, 1 bag containing the victim's genitals was taken home by Delfi. At that time, Delfi had successfully collected 7 victims' genitals. And finally, he carried out his ritual by putting all the 7 genitals in 1 container already filled with water mixed with 7 kinds of flowers. He then bathed with that water and also drank it. That was the ritual commanded by his father, so that his father's power would descend upon him. However, behind all this, on July 20th, 2014, Fema's family was tirelessly searching for their son who had been missing. The entire community of Pinang Sebatang Timur village was frantic because several boys had gone missing in the village and were never found. The news of these missing boys became a big story. The police went all in to investigate this case. Fortunately, there was a resident who saw Delfi and Sufyan taking a small child, riding 3 up on a motorcycle. This resident's testimony became the main puzzle piece for the police to hunt them down. The police also obtained information from Fema's friend named Daud. Daud was one of Fema's friends when they were playing by the river, and Daud saw Fema being invited by 2 men. Thanks to that information, the police easily found and arrested Delfi and Sufyan at their respective homes on July 22, 2014, or 4 days after they carried out their action on their last victim, Fema Sili. After police questioning, the 2 of them confessed to their actions. Delfi also admitted that his ex-wife, Dita, had once helped him carry out his actions. Dita was also taken in by the police. Delfi then showed where he had dumped and buried all of his victims. This was because none of the 7 victims had been found at that time, especially his first victim, Febrian Della, who was executed a year ago, whose case was still a mystery, and all his victims were found in the state of skeletons. Most of the victims' parents gathered there. They felt devastated and shocked to learn that their children had become prey for a prospective shaman. Moreover, Fema's parents were shocked after finding out that they sold their son's flesh to an old shop to be consumed by people without the buyer's knowledge that it was not beef. After this case was exposed, the owner of the old shop who bought the meat was shocked after learning it was not a cow beef. She admitted she was not suspicious at first, but did feel the meat was too tender when processed into rendang that she served to her family. Her whole family had eaten the meat. The confession from Bu Rawati, the shop owner who also bought meat from Delfi, she also was not suspicious at first. Bu Rawati bought 3 plastic bags of meat from Delfi. After buying it, Bu Rawati realized that it did not contain any flesh, but only organs, not knowing that it came from a human. Bu Rawati then processed the meat and served it to her family. Her whole family had eaten the meat. After Bu Rawati told her family that it was not beef, they were all shocked to the point of vomiting when recalling the taste. The most terrifying thing was the feeling of Fema's parents after learning that their son ended up as human rendang. This was because of the cruel and demonic nature of Delfi, who could bear to do all this just for a myth he believed in for his own self-interest. Because of this case, the 3 of them, including Delfi, who was considered the mastermind of the case, were charged with multiple severe articles. The judge finally sentenced all 3 to death. In court, the judge even cried when reading the chronology of their actions against the young victims. The event was witnessed by all the victims' parents. This case is indeed very horrific and thought-provoking. My personal question was, did Delfi really gain the power that his father told him? Also, did his father was doing the same thing as Delfi in the past? Comment your thought in the comment section. And also don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next crime case in depth.